Hey guys, Greg Lappin here, Mike Force Podcast, and super excited today. My buddy Tony Cowden is on the show, and we were just joking around because he's actually still saved in my phone as Kid, his old call sign from way back in the day. But we'll forget about all that. But Tony spent a long career in Army Special Forces, aka Green Berets. Has a lot of experience through there in the Army, contracting for the couple of different agencies. We worked together. He was my first team leader, actually my first foray into contracting. So, dude, super excited. Yeah, the AC just kicked on, sounded like an earthquake for a second, but super glad to see you, dude. It's been how long since we've seen each other?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't even want to think about it because it would be almost saddening or embarrassing that, like we've got this awesome core group of friends that, I can look back and there are certain dudes that I've stayed in touch with over the years, 20 years, 19 years later. Yeah. We're deep into 19 years because I think that gig started in like January or February of 2005.
Yeah, dude. So I went to selection. I went to the second WIPS course TC ever held. Because before WIPS, what were they calling it? Before
it was
WIPS,
just a DSS contract. It was a Defense Department contract to provide security for the State Department. Yeah. So the selection was different. Freaking State Department wasn't involved.
Right.
It was all like when you went to the triple canopy initial first screenings, it was like a bunch of CAG dudes just being really mean to everyone.
That's still how it was, dude. 30 days.
Yeah.
30 days and like less than half the class got selected. You know?
I remember sitting there at dinner one night, and this young guy who I believe he was just a SWAT police officer. I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
You can say, hey, look, you can say it because we'll tell a story, but you can say that.
I mean, it was a reality.
I'm just a SWAT police officer.
He said, we were having lunch. He's like, man, I don't get it. How I'm even here. This is like the meaning of the Super Friends. Yeah. It was like every, there's SEALs, recon, the baddest of the baddest.
That was all soft.
Just, and also like who would leave the safety and security of getting paid on the 1st and the 15th, right? Military pays same dates as welfare, right?
Yeah.
Socialism in uniform.
So do cops, bro. So do cops, man.
Yeah. It's socialism in uniform, right? But that provides a certain safety and security. Yeah. So the type of guys that would leave that to go get involved in contracting because it sounds wonderful and it pays better, like what was motivating us to even get on board? It was like, hey, when we get to Iraq, there'll be a pile of AK-47s. You need to go get one.
Grab the best one you can.
Find the one, find a couple, shoot them, take the one that works.
Yeah. That's
what we were doing. Yeah. And like, what type of dude is it, I get it, right? Like there's a certain type of dude that's in special operations anyway, a certain type of police officer that wants to be on the SWAT team, always trying to get better. But what type of dude leaves the safety and security provided by, that uniform to go do this crazy contract stuff where there's no insurance, there's no top cover, there's no one coming to save you. You're a contract. You're like, the military's got other things going on, and now you're in the battle space too.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, chaos, bro. Chaos.
So here we are, these nuts. The oddly motivated, types. And like I said, this young man was like, it's like the meaning of the Super Friends. He's like, I feel so inadequate, and he did get dropped, man. Yeah. But there were studs of studs getting dropped.
For sure,
absolutely. Dudes with crazy reputations because. We'd already done Afghanistan and Iraq. Yeah. Studs getting dropped from that course.
So I went to selection in, I think it was October or November of 2005. It was their first
course. 5 or 4?
5. I went to selection.
So Haiti was 06.
Haiti was, I got to Haiti.
In my head, I've been saying it's 05.
I got to Haiti in December of 05.
Okay, that's right.
I got to Haiti in December
started late. It started late 04. You came in 2 weeks after I got there, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I show up, and I love telling this story. And yeah, dude, I'm just a cop.
Just a cop.
I'm just a cop, bro, and the only reason I even got able to go to selection during those times of triple canopy was because I'd become really good friends. Don Ayala? Do you remember Don Ayala?
Yep, I remember
Don Juan. He and I became really good friends down in New Orleans, and he said, look, I'm going to put my name on your resume to get you to go to selection. once you're there, you're on your own. You don't know me. I don't know you. You see me, you fucking don't even look at me.
Right.
I was like, Roger this, you know? Dude, I was nervous, bro. I was nervous because same thing, dude. I'm young. I was a young New Orleans policeman. And don't get me wrong, I got a lot of shit.
Yeah, so if I was what? Yeah, we were children.
We were children, bro. We were children. I was maybe 26.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe
that puts me
26, 20, 25, 26. Something like that.
Yeah, 06, that puts me coming right up on 30.
Yeah. So 26, 27. I think you got about
Whatever.
3 years on me.
Math.
Well, long time ago.
Math.
Exactly. We're not good at mathing. And I was nervous, bro. You know, because again, like, here I'm a cop. Like, I look up to you guys. Like, what do those guys have that I don't? You know, for real. And like, not that I had a chip on my shoulder.
Another selection.
Yeah, but I was like, you know, do I have what it takes to kind of stand amongst those guys, right? In my mind. So like, I made sure that I had to be perfect. So I was PTing like fucking crazy, shooting like crazy, finding.
And then you get to my team.
Dude, you're like, hey, bro, teach me land nav. Teach me how to read a map. Yeah. So I have some, you know, and so I show up, I fly in we go to Winchester, Virginia. And we get in all these like 16-pack vans from the airport. Yeah. They pick us all up in the airport, and we get in these white 16-pack vans.
Doing it at
big ass duffel bags, BSR.
BSR,
yep.
Bill Scott Racing.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And they drive us up into BSR, and they pull us up. We park on this hill by these log cabins. And hey guys, head out, grab your bags, go into the classroom, put your bags in the back. Your names are in alphabetical order. Find your name and have a seat. Right. Well, pretty simple instructions, right? I get my big old duffel bag. I put it in the back against the wall. My name starts with an L. I kind of know roughly where it's going to fall in the room, right? If you use your brain a little bit.
Alphabet.
Right?
Okay.
Alphabet, it's a thing, right? And so I go somewhere like, you know, a third into the room and find the L's, L-A, cool, boom. And I sit down. All the cadre are up against the chalkboard. It wasn't even a whiteboard at the time. It was a chalkboard. Yeah. And there's still one guy. And I have no idea. I don't remember what his name was. I don't remember his background. But I was the only non-soft guy in the whole selection. I was the only non-soft guy. And there's this one guy like still kind of pacing around looking for his name. And the lead instructor stopped me and goes, hey, sir, what's your name? He says, you know, Joe Schmuckatelli or whatever his name was. He goes, hey, roger that. Go ahead and grab your bag. Head back outside of the vans. And we're all like,
Dude,
looking around.
He just got cut, and we ain't even been cut yet.
Bro, it's for real.
Yeah.
You could hear a pin drop.
Hey.
And he was like, go ahead, grab your bag, head back out of the vans. And he went like sauntered off with his head down. And we're talking like this is a grown ass man, soft dude. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know what unit, where he came from, what branch or what any of that, but still.
He's cut.
And he's like, guys, there's 40 something of you in this room. This is not a pass or fail. We are only picking the guys that are the best. If you're the last MFer to find your name in a room in alphabetical order, that means there's 42 other dudes that are better than you in here. And I was like,
you know,
oh, we're in the big
average people, right? Normal people, regular people. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I have used those terms years ago in a very derogatory way because regular people, right?
We're tough guys.
Yeah. As we get older, we figure that stuff out. But like normal people in normal jobs don't understand what it means to say every day is a selection. No one cares what you did yesterday. Hey man, awesome. You saved the world.
Right.
You cured cancer yesterday. Here's your award.
Right.
Today you step on your junk, you're fired.
That's right. 100%.
Right? Like no one cares what you did yesterday. And like you said, I mean, you can't find your name on a desk somewhere, right? Like, hey man, you got to go. And like, imagine like, you know, for a person listening to this, what that means. You go to a job interview and that's what selections are.
Yeah, for sure.
And I tell guys that like, hey man, this is a job interview.
It's a 30-day.
It just happens to be 30 days long.
30-day job interview.
Right.
Nonstop.
Right.
24/7, really.
Right. And you can say anything you want, like in a regular job interview, but your performance is going to tell us who you really are, right? When you're tired and how you act then and the words you choose then.
That's right.
Right? When we've kept you up for 4 days, right? Like that's, we're going to see your true character or they're going to see our true character. Because I've been through quite a few selections in my career and it's like, Christ, I guess I'm just a number again, right? It's like, at what point am I selected? Well, you're not.
Yeah.
You never are. No one cares what you did yesterday. Every day is a selection.
Yeah.
Like Melissa is familiar with that term. Of course, she uses it in her towards me.
Right, of course, yeah.
Right? Like,
hey, every day.
Yeah, I explained it to her
Do you
one
still
time.
deserve to be in this relationship?
Exactly. Every day's a selection. And that's her talking
Dude,
to me.
I love it. Because I use a term you fucking embedded in my head all the time. Hey, hesitation kills.
Hesitation kills.
I still say it
That'll get
all
you killed.
the time.
Don't hesitate, man. Do something. Doing nothing get you killed as doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Man. You know, I believe that. You know, I believe that since the very beginning, and it's proved true quite a few times in my life. You know,
for sure. Me too.
Not just in tactical stuff, but like driving.
Yeah.
Business decisions.
Yeah. Everything.
You know.
Yeah. We use the term can get you killed very loosely because it could get you fired, it could get you broke, it could get you this, it could get you that. But
Yeah. It's funny, you know, I joke that mine and Melissa's first date was a trek across the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and I've told this story quite a few times, and it's quite the story, man, because I took this dentist who had hiked a few national parks in her life, was in phenomenal shape, right? I mean, she had done triathlons, was doing CrossFit at the time. She was in great shape. Well, I'm like, hey, you know, we had just kind of started dating. You know, we had kept it under the radar for 6 months. You know, people were starting to suspect.
Right.
But we were feeling each other out, right?
How'd you guys meet real quick?
We met in the gym. We met in the gym, Gold's Gym in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was getting a divorce. I was temporarily living with Craig. Right? With Seabass. And Seth, right? Exactly, right? So here's, you know, Seth and Craig, right? You know, two of the arguably prettiest and wild dudes I've ever known, right? But they were both, you know, handsome fellas who definitely stuck out in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes, just a wee bit.
College town with a beach problem and no football team. So, you know, of course, Seth stuck out in any room he was in, but you put the three of us together, you know, we definitely gained some attention. But I was in Gold's Gym, man, and I was doing like a CrossFit workout. And I was doing muscle ups on the bar on the Smith machine. Yeah. Because it's a Gold's Gym, man, in 07.
That's what you got,
There's no CrossFit equipment, right? Like no one had even heard of CrossFit. And literally this shredded, she was preparing for a fitness competition, like the bodybuilding stuff, but the stuff where they do all the, you know, the exercise, not the female bodybuilders.
Yeah, the exercise,
right? And I don't know why it's the actual name of it slips my mind, because they got like, now there's like the bikini, right? The skinny girls that stick their butts out.
That orange, like, and look, I'll say this, like,
you're ripped, awesome, honey.
When you look at them, like, they're beautiful. A lot of them are beautiful in normal life,
right?
And they get into their workup to look a part in an image for the competition, which that has become the it's like runway models,
right?
Dude, I don't find them attractive either, because they look like that light pole right there with a dress on.
The camera shows, the camera looks different, and that's what I say about bodybuilding. You know, they get all tanned up like that and stuff, and it's funny because their faces won't be tanned or whatever. I have pictures of Melissa, you know, and because I mean, she won competitions all the way to the national level, and she was like, she'll tell you she was faced with the question or the choice to become, you know, national level pro. You to compete, you gotta look at drugs. And she wasn't interested in that. And I think she also saw some favors type of stuff being exchanged between contestants and judges.
For sure.
Right? You know, I mean, hey man, you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to win.
You do you, but
right? And she wasn't interested in that. You know, she was a dentist, and she's like, okay, this was great. Well, she saw me doing CrossFit, which actually led her into doing CrossFit. But she, you know, sexy as she could be over there, you know, she's half Asian. She looks exotic. Like if you look at her, you're like, I don't even know what she is. She's a mutt. She's a super mutt. Super mutt. In all seriousness, she's half German, half Japanese. I live with the freaking Axis powers, bro. Right? Like,
all in one, dude.
Right.
She's a boss, man. I watched some of the videos you put. I mean, she's a boss.
You know, she's one of those people who, like, if she does something, she wants to do it to the best of her ability. Whatever that is. She doesn't care. It's so admirable because she doesn't care about doing better than someone else.
Just her. She wants to beat herself.
She only wants to do her best. Right. It is such an amazing motivation. Because being honest, man, like, you know, especially guys, we can't help it. We want to best other other guys, right? That's part of the competition for us, right?
Yeah.
It's a motivator. Dude, she's not interested in that, like at all. And it's amazing. It makes her an amazing mentor because she doesn't care about beating other women or other dudes. She cares about doing her best. So she can speak to other competitors who might very well beat her and be awesome about it. Yeah. But long story short, man, we went to go hike across the Bob Marshall Wilderness. If you don't know what Bob Marshall is, Bob Marshall's wilderness is no rubber tired vehicles. The only thing is, and Bob Marshall's one of our oldest wildernesses, so there's never been a rubber tired vehicle in it. There's like old, just old flathead Indian trails through it. Yeah, that's it, and up and through the pass. Very old school, right? Where the trails are made out of necessity, not out of, out of, let's go over here and look at something beautiful, right? So it's rustic. There's wolves in there, and it's a grizzly bear refuge. Yeah. I wanted to go. My plan was to go in there, hike the highest peak, look around, see if I couldn't see some wolves and maybe a grizzly bear. Right? That was my plan. Let's go do that. It sounds like fun. Well, how long are you staying? I don't know, until my food runs out and I got to walk out. Yeah. But the plan was when she, so we're starting to get together as a relationship and stuff. And I'm like, want to go? And because she's so fit, right? Like, I mean, we went and ran 5Ks together, right? Like, and I mean, I guess part of me kind of lost track of the fact that she's still only, 120 pounds, 125 pounds, right? Small stature, strong as hell, fast as hell for her weight class. Well, we're hiking across the Bob Marshall, and we got off to a late start, and we woke up the next morning to smoke. Largest forest fire ever in the Flathead National Forest and the Bob Marshall Wilderness. And we're on the west side, bro. And what way does the wind blow?
Toward you.
So what was supposed to be like a 40-mile loop over 2.5 days turned into we got to get to the other side. We can't go back. We got to get to, civilization on the other side, looking at the maps. So she got a crash course on land nav. We had to, route planning
and trail
running and go, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, because like I said, man, it wasn't just smelling smoke. Like we were in the smoke. I had pictures. I have a picture of her looking over one of the lakes first thing that morning, man, and you can see the smoke. Yeah. And it's like, uh-oh. Yeah. Helicopters and C-130s flying over, dumping all the retardant and stuff. And it was funny because we, halfway through that day, man, we've got our, full REI issue,
of course,
baddest backpacks, all the gear, you're going to go do something, you got to get some new gear,
absolutely.
Right? So we,
looking cool.
She had all new gear, man, freaking, and we bumped into this kid, man. He was, 19 maybe, in sandals and like a canvas knapsack and a pair of little shorts. He was from Lithuania. He didn't have anything. He's like, yeah, I saw some other people on the trail yesterday. Said there's a forest fire, so I'm going this direction. He was headed north. He was like, yeah, I'm going to hike all the way to whatever. And it was like 200 miles. Right, yeah. He wasn't letting a forest fire ruin his, 2 weeks of hiking. And I'm like, how are you going 200 miles with sandals and whatever's in that little tiny knapsack? I'm like, that could almost be a fanny pack. It was, I'm like, awesome. Yeah. And that kind of changed my perspective of like hiking and all the gear we really need. Right. I'm like, do I really need? So that kid definitely left an impression on me. But yeah, so what turned into all that was turned into 80 miles of running from a forest fire. And
nice first date.
That whole term, every day is a selection. I say that this event was her selection. She learned the land nav, freaking. She learned blister care. Yeah. She had never had blisters like she got.
I'm sure.
And dude, I've had like 2 blisters on my feet in my life.
Yeah. I'm real fortunate, dude. I've lost toenails. I've lost all my toenails.
I lost a toenail one time in Haiti, but that was because I had an infection in the side of my foot.
Yeah.
That was different.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember me getting real sick in like the first like month and a half. What was his name? Chris something or other.
Chris, the bald-headed guy. Right? He was a Navy guy, right?
There was one guy out there who was like a medic.
Yeah,
I thought his name was Chris. I can't remember. Anyway, he had me plugged up in my bed with IVs in that little room in the
Haiti,
house.
Man, we all got sick once or twice. Dude, did you eat the food? No, I just was breathing the air.
Yeah, exactly. Just right.
Look, watch out, tuberculosis.
Dude.
Oh crap, there's some AIDS.
Everything.
Don't breathe that air.
Yeah, everywhere, dude.
And actually, I made a post on Facebook, a little Throwback Thursday about Haiti and how it's like, it's where Americans like to go do missionary work.
Yeah.
Because it's close.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Yeah.
Like, but Haiti is...
Dude, Haiti's no joke.
I mean,
I should see
600 plus kidnappings a year. One of the project that I was working on, we've continued to work in Haiti over the years simply because, of being there before. And so we were there like right after the president was assassinated a couple of years ago, and different recovery operations and this and that for, people being kidnapped. And like, it's so funny because like my congressman, he's always like, do missionary work in austere environments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you in Cap Haitian where they park the cruise ships,
right? Yeah.
Pretending to do missionary work in a place that's really easy to get to that doesn't even change time zones.
Yeah, not downtown Port-au-Prince and like.
Right.
Remember, dude, we lived up in Pétionville.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Well, we were on La Montagne up on the mountain.
That's
like,
right.
Not even Pétionville.
We were above
Yeah, we were with all the really rich Haitians.
In the freaking, in the old like narco trafficker freaking castle.
Yeah, we finished that March, man. And, that's where Melissa learned the terms every day as a selection, right? Which was funny because we actually finished that trip up. We got to the other side, and of course we don't have a car, we don't have any money. One of the Forest Service guys in the lime green truck, he was like, "Man, I can't legally give you guys a ride." Oh man, he wanted to,
Of course,
the next town is Augusta, Montana. It's like 15 miles away. Okay, in the plains, it's like Rockies and then flat,
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've got a picture of us in front of that house. I'm trying to find.
Do you really, man? Yeah, I don't have any pictures pre like 2008. The computer that I had with all those pictures and stuff completely shit the bed. And I was supposed to give the hard drive to somebody and like have data recovered. Well, time went by, years went by, and then it's like, oh man, it'd be cool to have all those pictures now. Because it wasn't just Haiti. It was like Iraq, Afghanistan, freaking, thousands of pictures.
So that's Haiti. I don't know if you remember Billy. 7th group guy.
Yeah.
I got a picture of you and me in front of the house though.
Yeah, no. Whatever happened to that guy?
Dude, he got out of contracting and he was super chill.
That was like that dude was one chill mofo.
Yeah, we stayed in touch for a long time, me and him afterwards, because he and I got tight. But he got out and went to a regular old, I don't know what he ended up doing with life, but civilian life basically. So dude,
that time frame's so blurry for me still, man.
Man, it's crazy.
That getting that ID in 2009 freaking wiped so much of my memory out, dude. Like going home. Matter of fact, last week, my little cousin, God bless his heart, he invited me to go to the ceremony where he was getting a pin and an award for being on the principals list. And of course, when I grew up, I was on the principals list, but it wasn't the good one.
Not the good list.
This young man, my little cousin, and I'm nothing but impressed. Like, wow. This dude has gotten straight A's and been on the principal list, which is 95% grading on everything and better, right? And they inducted him into the Beta Club, which is like a scholars honors club.
Why is it got to call Beta Club though?
Yeah, looking at it that way, I was like, maybe it should be the Alpha Club.
Yeah, the Alpha
I'm sure
Club.
It stands for something, but it means he's smart,
right?
And so he asked me to go, and I'm sitting at the table at my old middle school, right? And one of the moms sitting at the table, she's like, "Hey, do you not remember me?" And I'm like, dude, my high school, we graduated like 103 people, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knew everyone.
Right, yeah.
And
I'll have to find it later.
She looks familiar, and I know I should know her, but I'm like, so I was like, hey, I got to tell you. And she introduced herself, and I was like, oh, wow. I know her name. Dude, I have zero recollection in my mind of this lady. And there was other people in the crowd. And it's weird how I don't really get to choose, because I also saw this other fella who I grew up with, and I knew him. And I remembered, his name's, we used to call him Little John. He's not little. He's like 6'5", big old boy. And, he used to go, in the hunting club roads and drink beer and go mudding.
Yeah, exactly. Do burnouts in the old Ford F-150 single cab.
And I remember John, like, it was yesterday, but don't remember I don't remember, like, girls I dated.
Yeah. I don't remember most of them.
Gone. And, but
maybe
that's a choice. Like, mine got wiped, which is probably an okay
probably thing. A good thing.
But, so it's so funny when, like, I completely forgot about him. And as soon as you showed me the picture, I'm like, oh, holy crap. Yeah.
And it comes back.
And, but like I said, man, talking with Greg Anderson a few months ago, he was talking about something you said to him about Haiti.
Yeah.
And dude, I got all kinds of memories over the next 3 or 4 days coming back to me about Haiti. Little things. Yeah. Little things like the t-shirt competition we had going on where like, everybody was always looking for the coolest t-shirt. So if listeners don't know, in Haiti, you'll see the craziest t-shirts. And it's from, people donating. And then they, so like Guns N' Roses, all kinds of stuff. And I'll never forget like that automotive area on the way to the old embassy.
Yes, yeah.
And, like if you hit your brakes too hard, you could go sliding because it was oil everywhere.
It was just the street was covered. It was like that old not cobblestone, but like
just broken pavement. Yeah. I mean, Haiti, but oil everywhere. And I'll never forget. Well, never forget. I'm glad I remembered. It was cool because there was that guy. It was the Dink Dinks, the Toyota Hiluxes. With the seats built on the back. There would be like 20 Haitians. Like I used to think Afghanis were good at stacking people in the back of Hilux trucks. Haitians had it figured out. But that guy had the entire wheel assembly off. It was all, the truck was being supported by sticks, right? And he'd clearly done it before. And there were people in the back of the truck. He didn't just have the wheel off. He had the whole wheel assembly off, right? Like brake drums and stuff. There's like 20 people in the back of this truck while he's sitting there. He's working under it. It's jacked up with sticks, not a jack. And he had on a shirt that said, "Safety first."
That's it.
That was Haiti.
There you go. That was
like
Haiti,
that was Haiti. It was insane. Like it was just, and you remember when they were rioting and all that, and the embassy was not prepared. And it was like
all the roadblocks set up and the car carcasses.
RSO didn't want to arm the Marines.
Yeah, dude. Remember we had to go down and pull the Marines out of the house. Dude, I still have video.
We had to evac the Marines.
I still have video of the Marines with their big old Mitch helmets sitting in the back of the subs.
Yeah. I mean, because they wouldn't let them take their guns from the embassy to their homes. And it's just like, hey, man, this is your one armed force that's going to help get you off this island, or at least to a safe house so we can get off this island. We need these guys because, like, let's face it, a 4-man security detail, in Haiti.
Ain't gonna do much. In thin skins, or thin skin little, whatever those little SU. They were 5-speed too, bro. They're
like
manual
3 cylinders.
transmission.
Remember, like we used to joke, like you could get out of that. Those little, they were like Suzuki's or something.
Yeah.
And like we could get out of those things and run up the hill faster than it could go up the hill. You're burning up clutches all the time and stuff because they wouldn't let us have the subs,
bro. There's some, so it's funny. Like again, for me, being a young guy, never having been overseas, going over to that for the first time, and Haiti's a permissive environment. Let's be realistic.
Right.
When you really talk about
areas that are very
semi-permissive
and a few that are not.
Yeah, if you talk about down
you're not
City
going to go
Soleil,
walk down the street in City Militaire.
Exactly,
hey, anybody seen barbecue? Just wanted to freaking run down here and talk to a local warlord.
Yeah, exactly. But it's semi-permissive, and you're right. Certain areas. But for me, I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to a dangerous place. Now, little did I know, fast forward, like, dude, I'm chasing bad guys down dark alleys in the middle of the night by myself in like Pigeon Town and Girt Town, like some of the worst areas, like real, like these kids don't give a crap about killing a cop.
Yeah. Haiti at that time, let's face it, right, wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. And then I'm with
the
the group of hitters. We have M4s. Meanwhile, I'm chasing dudes down alleyways with a pistol on my hip.
Right.
It's all like your viewpoint though, right?
Yeah.
So
your perspective.
I show up and I'm like, oh my God, this is a real deal. I can't fuck up. I've got to be perfect. I got to be good. I got to be able to PT with these guys, be able to shoot with these guys. Like I've got to be perfect. And I remember like doing map studies in my room on Google Earth to make sure I knew all the roadways around Haiti from our house through Pétionville down to the embassy, multiple routes, all that stuff, because I was your driver primarily.
Right.
And dude, there's a couple of little things. So one thing that sticks with me, and I still it still sticks in my head. And I don't even know if you remember this, but it fucking hurt my heart, dude, because I let you down. And I was going on a move. I was leaving the embassy. To put it in perspective,
I was a pretty hard.
You were a hard ass, bro. You were a fucking hard ass.
My
but you know
model
what?
in my head of team leader.
Yeah, dude.
I had gotten it from some pretty hard dudes.
Yeah.
I had been blessed with some amazing leaders and mentors, but they were not easy to get along.
Oh, dude, no,
guys.
you were a hard ass. Yeah. But, dude, you were a hard ass, but you were fair, and I respected all of that because I always knew what I was getting. I knew what you expected, right? And I'm leaving the embassy. I'm rolling out on a move. And you were standing outside and you like made some hand gesture to me or whatever, like joking around, like messing around. Right. And I was like, and I did one of these to you as I'm leaving and I saw your face go.
We were outside the front of the embassy.
We were outside the front.
I remember
and
that,
your
dude.
face went, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. And we left off.
My
we went on our move.
Professionalism as a detailee, right? Like,
Bro,
you never embarrassed the client.
Yeah.
I believed
and
all
like
that
no
stuff.
one really
It's
saw it.
right.
Like no one really saw it. I was like literally this on my face out the window to you. No one. And I came back and I knew.
That professionalism came from Jay Christie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
JC,
Jay was one of those guys, man. Like, I was so lucky to have him. Of course, he was our PM there.
Right, yeah.
But he'd been my PM in Mosul. And,
that's right, yeah.
You know, and I had really learned from him, you know, that, like you said, that fairness, that calm coolness.
Yeah.
You know, Jay never raised his voice. Like the one time I stepped on my dick and it was nothing, not a big deal, not anything operational. You know, he pulled me in and he was like, okay. You know, I need you to explain to me why you did this. And I explained it to him. And he was like, okay, well, you know, moving forward. And it was just the calmest, coolest thing, man. It was like, but I knew he was serious.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew I could never do something like that again.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Well, that's basically what you told me.
I
came
modeled,
back.
Yeah,
I came back
the way
and you're
I
like,
led because of him.
Yeah, you're like, Lappin, come here. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the exact conversation, but you're like, don't you ever fucking do anything like that. And I was like, roger that. Sorry, it won't happen again, you know?
Right.
But I was like, in my mind, I was like,
because on the teams, you know, whether it's the SWAT team or the SEAL team or the SF team, man, we all act like animals sometimes.
yeah, for sure, 100%.
And then now we're in this space of very
non-animals, like super like,
not us.
Yeah.
And, you know, they already see us as, you know, gorillas and animals.
Right. And don't want us around a whole lot.
An impediment to their daily life.
Right.
Which is like, hey, I'm not here to impede your daily life. If you want to, I'll take you to a party. I'll take you to wherever you want to go. Do not care. And if somebody tries to hurt you, that's what I'm here for.
Then we step
in. You know, so like, yeah, those folks definitely did not appreciate.
No, for sure not. Until they needed us.
Exactly.
Until then they really appreciated us.
And I always tried to let them know, like, hey, you just got your own personal detail bodyguards that are this, you know. And then sometimes their attitudes would change. And like, here, we are here to help you. We are here to facilitate you. But I also had to explain it to us that we're not the main effort. Right. Yeah. That was one of the hardest part in contracting, whether it was for the State Department or the agencies, whichever one. It's like, hey, we're not the main effort. Yeah. We're not the assault troop. We're not, you know, we are a support element.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's like, we are here to support intelligence gathering operations.
Right.
You know, we're supposed to help them.
Yeah, we're not doing DA on the target.
So we had to know that stuff. And, you know, because our mindsets was always like, you know, we're the primary, we're special, you know, right? It literally says it in the name.
Yeah, a lot of, we're chauffeurs. Like, come on, we're babysitters and chauffeurs.
Armed taxi cab drivers.
Yeah.
And yes, watch your step, ma'am. Can I get your bag,
That's
ma'am?
right.
Yes, that's part of our job.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're getting paid really good to do that. So,
and
you know, and guys, you've seen it. Guys couldn't wrap their head around.
No, for sure. Some guys can't break out. And one of the best things that I ever heard was, we don't get paid for what we do. We get paid what we can do, you know, what we can do. And, and that's happened obviously across the time, but I'll never forget
like in
that.
Iraq, you know, the case officer sometimes would be like, all you guys do is work out and shoot.
Yeah.
And we're like, because when it comes time for us to shoot and protect you, you're going to appreciate the fact that I can throw you over my shoulder and get you to safety.
That's like our case officer, when he found himself getting shoved in a closet, hard pointing because we just got assaulted and tires of his vehicle shot out and basically almost burned through the armor. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh,
they see how we act.
Now I get
that situation.
Yeah, now I get why you guys are around, you know. Right. So it's crazy. But that always stuck
I know
out
we're scary
to me.
looking.
I know.
You know, and we're
really
bigger.
sweet, bro. We're really sweet dudes.
I mean, right, like big old Rottweilers and stuff, man. You know, freaking keep us fed. Right, keep us fed.
Just scratch my back a little bit.
Throw a ball for us every now and then, and we're gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that story. And then another one that kind of like always stuck with me, and this is the one that Greg told you. And I've told this on a couple of podcasts because it resonates with me. And it just goes to a good friend of mine, Joao Assis. He's a Hall of Famer jiu-jitsu black belt. And he always, man, real knows real, bro. Real knows real, right? And it's like, we have a lot of the same circle of friends.
Birds of a feather.
Right? Whereas if I had different friends that you thought were shitbirds, and you had friends that I thought were shitbirds, and probably one of us is right, and we wouldn't be friends.
Right.
But we share the same group of friends. And for me, it's always resonated with me because, again, real knows real. Like, you know, you chewed my ass for doing something dumb and stupid. I deserve that. Roger, that won't happen again. I feel bad that I let you down.
Got the point across. Let's move on.
Yeah, I don't hold a grudge. Oh, he yelled at me.
Oh, no.
He called me a name like that guy. Oh, you know, like he hates me now. No, he chewed my ass.
You.
Yeah, I did something dumb.
Bullying you.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm hurt. I'm gonna,
If you ever hear me say that another man bullied me, take me out back. Bro.
Yeah,
put me down. I'm done.
You're out
I have
the pasture.
expired.
Yeah,
right?
dude. You know, and it's like, okay, I deserved every bit. I deserved that ass chewing. I deserved it. Fair enough. Cool. Done.
I'll get them.
Hey, bro, we're good. And we didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a step.
No.
Next day was a work day. No big deal. And then later on, remember they called that big powwow down to the lower villa where like a lot of the president detail guys were staying. And I don't remember who came in from the head shed.
That's right. We had that whole other house full of the presidential
But
detail guys.
yeah, but a couple of suits came down from Virginia, the head shed, and the whole powwow, presidential detail, our detail, we were all there in the house. And one of them was like, if you got on this contract as a cop, if you snuck in here without any soft background, those days are over and you guys are going to be done and we're only going back. And you were like, in a whole room full of dudes, no one else. And you're like, I got a dude on my team who's just a cop and he's one of the best motherfuckers I ever worked with. And I was like, oh, damn, he just stuck his neck out for me and he didn't have to. You know, like you didn't have to at all.
I've kind of always been the guy that's like, all right, check it out.
Yeah.
This is fucked up.
Yeah.
You're fucked up. Blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you again, Colonel.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
There's been numerous times in my career where, like, you know, my outspokenness, freaking, I said what I felt, probably at the wrong time to the wrong people, you know. But you know what? Not a single time I've ever regretted it.
No, and for me, like, I respected the hell out of it, for one. Two, I think everybody else around you went, oh, okay, well, this dude's got his teammates' backs.
I would, you know, the soft world is raised around, like, you know, SEALs are the best. Ask one, they'll tell you.
Right, yeah.
Right? SF guys are the best. Ask one, they will tell you. You know, it doesn't, we're all the best at what we do.
Right.
Right. We all have different missions, but we believe in, we get in our own little worlds. And before you, I believed it.
Yeah.
Right. And we were young, but the reality was you were on my team. Right. I remember like going, man, huh? Yeah. You know, I just left Iraq where I had a 22-man team, you know, that every single one of them had combat experience.
Yeah.
I get to Haiti, and luckily I realized, like, it is Haiti. There's no IEDs, right? Semi-permissive, freaking, you know what? And I've got this police officer, freaking, well, you know what? He displays all the characteristics of someone who could pass selection, right? Like, even now, man, I meet a dude, I'm like, that dude could have been an SF guy. Like, one of my very best friends, he's now a chief of police.
Yeah.
He was a narcotics officer in New Hanover County, worked the task force, et cetera, et cetera. New Hanover County's SWAT team had been stood down. Mm-hmm. I think it was 2007. They were hitting a warrant on a college kid, and one of the officers had an ND through the door and killed the kid.
Ugh, yeah.
You know, the kid was posing with pictures of AKs on his Facebook
Yeah.
page. Well, mommy and daddy were actually high-powered attorneys and connected to the governor. So long story short, that SWAT team had been stood down.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's still not fully operational.
Yeah.
We're talking 15 years later. So the narcotics squads, like, those dudes were hitting all. They were the high-risk warrant guys.
Stuff, yeah.
And they were brawlers, man. This fellow's name's Mike. And Mike, actually, we met. We would do open mat nights Tuesday night at my gym.
Yeah.
In walks this gorilla, right? I'm a right good-sized fella at that time, you know? And in walks this dude just like 2 inches wider than me at the shoulders, literally walks like a gorilla. Dude had played ball in college, was into, you know, jiu-jitsu and everything. And so, of course, of all the guys there, it was like, all right, man, I guess me and this guy, dude, we rolled and we rolled and we rolled. And like he was, you know, like just bigger and stronger. I might have been a little bit more technical at the time. Yeah. And so like we wound up sitting on the mat facing each other.
Like, are we done?
Like we were like 9 minutes into it.
Yeah.
And like everyone else had grown tired of even watching us just kind of like hold each other on the mat, you know? And we were like, cool, best bud since.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because he's progressed And when I met that dude, I was like, had that guy chosen to go to Bud's selection or wherever else, he'd have been that guy. And I saw the exact same thing in you. Yeah. And that crushed my, a lot of guys are snobs, man. You hadn't been to selection, I don't want to talk to you. Right. Yeah. One of my bosses over at SAD, man, he was like, not only if you ain't been to selection, he didn't want you, but like he hates SEALs. He will not hire a SEAL because he had a couple of bad incidents with SEALs.
I can't really blame him too much, but there's a few good ones out there.
Yes, obviously they are, right? And I have been blessed to work with some of those guys, man. Here. And I always used to joke that like I had to do a very thorough in counseling to the team. Like, here are my expectations. Right. At this job, you will have adult supervision. And you will be expected to behave in this way, shape, or form. Adult, and dude, and they did, and always have, right? Some of my best friends are SEALs. I just think that back then at the beginning of the war, I joke that SEALs are like, had you gave 1986 Motley Crue machine guns,
done
Navy SEALs.
Yeah, SEAL team. Navy
there
SEALs.
You go. Yeah, right? 100%. Like, no adult supervision, some drugs, some partying, and machine guns.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we joke. I mean, they can't land nav, right? Hell, funny thing is, I pick on. I was just down in Texas and hanging out with JP Donnell.
Yeah, okay, right on.
And I was joking with him, and I was like, hell, you guys can't even swim anymore. Yeah, like a lot of folks don't know this, but they only keep one platoon in each team certified to dive at any given time now, and that could have changed. But this was me talking with a couple of SEALs that came down to use my range a few months back, about this time last year probably. But they were saying that like, oh yeah, we don't even dive anymore. Yeah. So I joked, I was like, the one thing you guys could do, you're not even doing it anymore. Right. But that's obviously a joke. But yeah, you got these guys that they're like, they get set in their ways, and based off of prior knowledge, they're not going to let anyone new in their lives, right? And that goes for all kinds of relationships, right? You buy a set of boobs and she shares them with somebody else, and now that affects you for the rest of your life. You don't have a good relationship with a woman for the rest of your life. But that happens in all types of relationships. But yeah, man, you came along and I was like, okay, this guy displays all the characteristics, the reality, the characteristics of a guy who can perform at any soft dudes level. And dude, I had seen lots of different levels at this point.
For sure, soft
dudes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean? Yeah, like, and I learned that quickly.
Right, I had already been firing soft dudes from teams.
Yeah.
And I was young, man. Freaking God bless Jay Christie for trusting me as a TO in Mosul on that detail on that team. Because, and really the reality was the only reason it's not because I was like, displaying some type of exemplary leadership. I just knew Mosul because I had been there during the invasion. I knew the town, when I got to Mosul with Triple Canopy, if you had thrown a dart at a map of Mosul, I could tell you how tall the curbs were. Yeah. Why? And people, the curbs, because if you got to make a U-turn and get the hell out of an ambush, you need to know if your car can jump those medians. Right. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. Like, that's how well I knew Mosul. And I think that's 97% as to why Jay chose me to be the team leader, because I think I was like 27 or 28 years old when I took that team. I was a baby. Yeah. And I remember getting all the more mature guys together. Some of them, like Warren Choate.
Yeah, dude. Goat, bro. Right? Oh, man, Goat. Dude, I forgot about him.
Redneck. And I've seen him over the years and talked to him over the years, man. He's still the same dude.
Yeah.
Different guys. We had a couple of retired unit guys. And it was funny because they had zero aspirations of being a TL. They just wanted to be a window-licking dude, right? Yeah. They had done their career. It was a good handful of those retired guys.
They're collecting a paycheck now.
Exactly, and doing a great job at it, but had zero aspirations of wanting to be a TL. Not that I did either, but it was like, all right, poof, you're the TL. Okay. So I got all those guys together and I was like, all right, check it out. It's my job to receive the mission, right? Get us out, do the work, right? It is your job to make sure I don't get us all killed.
Right? Pretty much, yeah.
I need you guys to question everything I do. And they're like, yeah, okay, we already do.
Yeah, we already do.
Of course we are, right? Yeah. We know you're a young dumbass.
Yeah, you're young dumbass.
Right? We're not here to get killed either. Yeah. So, I learned a lot from that detail working with Jay and all those dudes. I had amazing AIC. Did you ever meet Mike Sayer?
Mike Sayer. Name sounds familiar, but
and Mike was one of those dudes, man. He was one of the first people to make fun of the call sign thing.
Okay.
And he gave himself the call sign Scary Spider.
So I don't know.
So Mike was an amazing dude, freaking a SEAL, super great shape, very intelligent.
Yeah.
He was a dude who was teaching me to like trade and stuff. Like in my spare time in Iraq, like I would sit and listen, and he would give me stuff to read about, finances and stuff. So he developed my sense in that world. But Mike was really chill. So he was the AIC, which basically he interacted with, directly with the embassy. Right. And, so us meatheads didn't have to,
go ruin
talk to smart people.
Yeah.
And Mike could bridge that gap. So he did that. It was amazing working with him. He was probably the first SEAL where I was like, oh, okay, these guys are freaking, they're not all
squared away.
The stereotypical, whatever, wild child. He was chill, man, family. Well, anyway, amazing guy. He moved on. He went over to the Navy, the Naval Intel Service, and sadly, man, he died of brain cancer.
Oh wow,
almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Children. Like, if I know, and hopefully I say the story correctly. I don't, know the details 100%, but it was like Christmas morning. He was like, "I've got a headache."
Yeah.
Like, man, I have a really bad headache, and collapsed.
Damn, dude.
And like 4 weeks later,
my wife. So we've talked about TBI and stuff, dude. And for about the past, it's actually started to subside the last few days. When did we talk on the phone? We talked like a couple weeks ago on the phone about you coming out here and stuff and setting this up. And dude, I got like 2 weeks of like really bad like brain shit. And I don't know what set it off. Like I didn't get hit in the head. I haven't done any like X breaching or anything. Like I don't know what.
Didn't have a hard landing with a parachute.
No, dude. Like
that'll do it.
I mean, and obviously, like I'm training and grappling and stuff every single day and shooting and stuff. But usually, I know what kind of kicks my TBI off.
Right.
And dude, I got banged for about 2 weeks. Headaches bad every single day, slurring my words, brain fog. Dude, what were we talking about, bro? I'm sorry, sort of thing.
Right.
And I was apologizing.
I was going with that.
Yeah, no joke. And I was literally like, for almost 2 weeks every night, I had to apologize to my students on the mat because I'd be like, all right, guys, come on over here. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be following on guys, what? Sorry. Like literally I had to tell them it's embarrassing, man. And it's like,
and it's hard to be aware. Like the same similar with mine as it progressed a couple of years ago. I had a 2 week stint where it was like, it kicked off with what I thought was a stroke.
Yeah.
That stuff's spooky, man, because like for me, I was well aware, like, I don't wake up some kind of super genius, never did, but I'm also not a moron, and I was aware that I was getting dumber.
Yeah.
I could,
I
knew it. I could feel it. I was like, do I have Alzheimer's? Do I have early onset of dementia? What's going on here?
Well, all the shit we've been exposed to, going
Heavy
back to your
metals,
buddy with brain cancer and stuff. Like, do I have a tumor in my head? That's like, so it's crazy, man. But, dude, we're going to have to do another one. We just got the 5-minute warning from the nerds. You guys nerds calling us time, but
it's so easy to just chat and
dude,
chat.
It's so easy to chat, and there's so much more that I would want to get into from like the ibogaine stuff,
right?
And all our, whether we want to say like, oh, you got PTS or not, like we all have some form of PTS, in one way or another,
right?
TBI from whether you're eating an IED or two, or you've eaten
20,
10 years of blast overpressure. Like,
come to find out, our M4s are producing just as much overpressure at the muzzles as most of the door charges,
bro. Like, and back in the day. At least back in the day, like we would run on our bangs.
Charge.
We'd ride the bangs too. Ride the bang, dude. And we'd be in the
flashbangs,
room, boom.
Flashbangs have way more PSI than our M4s and the door charges.
Right, exactly. And all that cumulatively. Yeah. So like I want to talk about that. Right now you've got like a whole range set up at your place, right?
Yeah. You're
running courses. So talk about your business real quick, because I want to get that out there for the viewers that want to train with you and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I was doing the whole gym thing as a side gig.
Right, yeah.
And gyms are like boats. First day.
Break out another 1,000.
Right. It's the first day that you open, it's awesome. The first day you buy your boat's awesome. And then when you sell it.
It's pretty awesome.
And so then it was kind of like, well, what am I going to do now? It's still contracting, but, what am I going to do when I'm home? So I started teaching shooting like every other
every other former cool action guy.
And we moved out of Wilmington, bought some acreage, built a range, so I was able to teach, my office in the backyard, basically. And then we built a long range. Long range is my passion.
Yeah, it seems like a super, super cool setup.
Yeah, and so I was able to build a 1,600 meter range. But we teach, carbine, pistol. I have an amazing dude that helps me now, a former Ranger Regiment guy named Dustin Rademacher. Freaking studs. I mean, freaking, master in USPSA, runs the hell out of the carbine. And he was a sniper platoon sergeant when he got out of the Ranger Regiment.
So he knows a little bit about it.
Yeah, right. He doesn't just know the long range; he knows how to employ it.
Right.
In the realm of the way Rangers do as a assaulter. Sniper assaulter. But yeah, so we've got all that going on. Of course, I travel. I'm up here this weekend teaching a class over at Provo Shooting Sports.
Yeah, you doing carbine, pistol?
We're doing pistol and carbine this weekend.
Nice.
Coming back in August for a long range course with the guys at Anarchy Outdoors. Aaron Guines, setting up a long range course in August up here.
In August, where? Do you know where?
It's their range, so I don't have an address or anything. I know it's just north of Salt Lake.
We'll have to check it out. I might come out as a student. I might bring my bolt gun, dude, and come out as a student.
Shoot it, brother. Absolutely. Heck yeah. If we can, absolutely. I always tell my bros, like, anything I'm doing anywhere, come hang.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool when I was teaching at Greg's place last year, and I'm going back in a few weeks. He was like, I was going to get set up, and then he couldn't leave. Like, he was like, he was having fun.
For sure.
We were shooting.
We're hanging out on the range. It's like the old days.
He's like, and I heard some new stuff. It was kind of cool, you know? And so, yeah, absolutely, brother. Yeah. But yeah, I'm doing that, man. I started a nonprofit because I didn't have enough.
What's that called?
I obviously had way too much free time.
Of course, yeah. You're running for office, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I do dumb things too. Running for Congress was definitely one of those.
What's your nonprofit?
So it's called The Reason Outdoors.
The Reason Outdoors?
Started it with a really good buddy of mine as a force reconnaissance dude I met at the gym way back when. Big time hunter dude. He's a guide, but our mission is to not just take guys on hunting and fishing trips, but to teach them how.
Yeah. Good.
Start to finish. Like last year we took 3 dudes elk hunting in Idaho. And it was a 8-month process, from a packing list to long range courses, everything.
Getting teach them teach them how to do it on their own, not just, hey guys, themselves. Go ahead, set up here, shoot that.
Right. Yeah. And it was kind of cool. One of the guys who went with us, he actually missed an elk last light. And I cleaned up for him and put the elk on the ground. So
we're not going to hold that against you, though.
Well, so of course, when we're butchering the animal, I'll do one shoulder, you do the next, that kind of stuff. So I'm teaching, and then they get to learn the whole fun of packing it out.
Heck yeah.
And sure enough, man, he had a cow tag. He got a cow tag, a female elk tag. Yeah. I have to be careful sometimes when I say a cow tag. People are like, "What? You're hunting? You're
killing cows?"
Yeah, like that. That's not hunting. Yeah. No, a female elk is called a cow. A doe for deer. And so he got a cow tag in Montana and took himself hunting by himself in the mountains of Montana, and by himself killed, processed, and packed out a cow elk.
And you want to talk about giving people freedom and capability, bro. Purpose. Like, that's right. Like, you always say, you always tag all your stuff capable. Your company's called Capable Inc., right?
Incorporated. Yeah.
Capable Incorporated.
Capabilities.
But talk about giving someone freedom, bro. You just taught that person how to sustain their own life and feed themselves.
Nowadays, man, I'm like, I want to hear your capabilities brief. Mm-hmm. Right? Any corporation, any individual can have a capabilities brief.
Yeah.
Tell me right now what you are capable of. What do you bring to the table?
Really good hair. I bring really good hair to the table. And a cool dog. Right? That's about it.
You got a cool dog.
That's all I got,
hey,
man.
You know what? Man, that's going to get you through many a door
that's
right there.
That's
right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's where the name came from, is capabilities, because it's not just shooting. It's the physical fitness. Sure. It's the diet, the healthy lifestyle. And I preach that to guys, man. I quit drinking alcohol 14 years ago.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because, you've been around me when I drink. I make dumb decisions.
As most guys
do, especially in relation to pretty women.
Yes.
Well, I was lucky enough for Melissa to come into my life, and I was like, ooh, this one is zero BS. Right, right. She's the, I'll brief you one time type.
Yeah. Every day is a selection.
Every day is a selection, dude, And so, I quit drinking so I could maintain that relationship. One of the best things I did, continually trying to clean up that diet. So, I post a lot of stuff on social media about, how to shoot, right? How to shoot. That's the bulk of it. Yeah. And then, I have a bit of a disdain for the motivational speaker.
Yeah. I get that too. Well, a lot of, problem is a lot of them don't live it. they speak it, they don't live it.
Right.
Like I've been catching hate on one of the posts from the Resilient podcast I did with Chad Robichaux and Sean Kennard, and we're talking about how if you don't have the capability, and it's a little clip, right? It's not the whole podcast. They pulled a little clip as a teaser.
Right.
And we even talk about, hey, Jordan Peterson talks about this well, but if you don't have the capability for violence, right? And we don't mean like people say, oh, I see red and body drop. No, like if you're not trained, because I don't care how much red you see or how much bodies you think you're going to drop. If you don't train,
you don't have the capability.
You're not going to beat either of us. Like you don't have the capability.
Yeah, you can see red and be in a rage state all you want. Cool. Calmly, coolly.
That's right.
In that.
Disassemble. Exactly.
Right.
And then we're getting so much hate for it because it's like, oh, you guys are like, no, there's like, come on, there's more context.
We're not purveying violence. We're purveying the capability to offset evil.
Right.
Right? Throughout history, throughout the Bible. There are the angels. We have this modern Western appearance of angels, right? Where they're like, in this white robe and a little halo and they're gentle looking. Dude, go back to ancient Samaria and pre-Christ depictions or just read in the Bible. Like Ezekiel describes Satan, right? And our colloquial idea of Satan is this red
horn, but it's like majestic, beautiful, like,
freaking angel.
Yeah.
And angels are also, they were warriors.
Savages.
Right. They were capable of all kinds of violence, but also capable of positive, amazing miracles. Yeah. That's what you should strive for. Not that either one of us are going to be angels, but yes. Right?
No, but like a lot of the motivational speakers they don't live it. They preach it, they don't live it. And Jordan Peterson was kind of a good example because he talks about being
and at
the
same time, I always wonder, like when I listen to Jordan Peterson talk about tough guy stuff, and then I look at this guy who
in
is
his little half and half
he's like this big.
I'm like, hey, bro, you're intelligent, and I love the way you articulate stuff, but also people that want to critique him or us, guys like us, like, bro, he's not. He doesn't live the life. He doesn't live the life,
easy, right? Because the motivational stuff. So instead of trying to like do this raw motivational thing, I just share with people how I do things.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, my presence on social media, and post I began, right? I'm a different person. I'm a far more peaceful person. I have zero interest in confrontation. I will not argue with you on social media. I do not care if you're disrespectful to me. I will block you.
Delete.
Right. Yeah. I am there to put out helpful information to people who want it. If you do not like it, go away.
Unfollow. It's easy.
And so my approach is now like, because I used to say things like, you should.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy to argue with. Now I say, I do.
Right. Yeah.
This is how I do things. It's my approach to things. It's how I hold a pistol. It's how I wake up in the morning. I don't, I quit drinking coffee. I drink electrolytes now.
Yeah.
Here's how I do it, why I did it. There's your information. If that motivates you, cool.
If you choose to,
it's on you, right? Like adult stuff, and that's my approach to things these days.
That's awesome.
Right? I'm here to help if you want it.
That's it. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so capableincorporated.com, spelled out, longest URL you're going to come across. And of course, thereasonoutdoors.org.
Thereasonoutdoors.org.
Yeah, man, it's such an amazing thing. We've got antelope hunts coming up.
Dude, that's awesome.
Hunts, freaking, we're taking dudes on. Freaking, we joke with it. We're going to give guys purpose.
Yeah.
But we're also probably going to, be the exact reason people get divorces. Because once you get hooked on hunting,
get hunting, dude, that's another hobby.
Yeah,
the wife
it's like, hey, you're going to need to brief your wife, bro, or your husband, dear, that come September to November, you're going to be absent from the relationship, or you can do as I've done.
Get your wife involved, because your wife's hunting with you.
She never gets upset. And funny thing is, she's not actually my wife. Everyone thinks she is.
I think I knew that, but she might as well. She's always funny.
I usually
who needs some anybody. City legal frickin' form?
Right, a $10 form from North Carolina. Yeah. And also, North Carolina has a 1-year waiting period. And so if she gets tired of my shit, she wants to be able to just bounce.
Bounce, exactly.
She's practical.
Today wasn't your selection.
North Carolina can't make me stay with you for a year.
Right, yeah.
True story.
Smart woman.
She's practical. But yeah, man, the only time she gets aggravated with me hunting is when she can't go. Yeah, and she can't go because she's got like a real job that depends on her with employees and stuff.
She's got her own practice, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
She has like real responsibilities where my boss, he's kind of a dick. but he's super flexible with my time when it comes to hunting. You know?
For sure.
And like a couple of years ago, dude,
he's his own boss, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking about himself.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, the Reason Outdoors and Capable Incorporated.
And your Instagram.
Yeah,
I know you post a lot of good videos on Instagram.
Yeah, so both my personal Tony_Cowden_ and then Capable_Inc. I think is it. Yeah, that's bad that I don't know my own.
If you search them, you'll find them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I get shadow banned.
I'm shadow banned too, bro. I'm shadow banned too. Or you can email us and I can get you the stuff. We'll try to put the links in the show notes below. And one of the big things since I've kind of started doing some of the more media for Fieldcraft, taking an interim control of Mike Force podcast, which a lot of people commented my first podcast. I talked about why it's called Mike Force. Has nothing to do with Mike Glover. It has to do with the Mobile Strike Force
it's got to have
commands.
a little tiny bit to do with.
It was named after the MACV-SOG Mobile Strike Force commands,
of course,
right? You know, which was actually named after
it's also
a guy.
Mike's
but
podcast.
It happens. Hey, good. It's where it works, right?
No, hey, I like it.
I can't call it Greg Force now, but
yeah, that would be weird.
That would be super weird, right?
Yeah.
And really, really narcissistic and vain. But and I'm only here temporarily.
The Lap Dance Podcast.
The Lap Dance Podcast. Lap Dance was my call sign for a long time, people. But everyone's asking me about Lily, and they're like, "We want more dogs in the video. More dog." Come here. Come here, baby. She's sleeping over here. Come on.
Dude, my dogs, as soon as I...
Oh, what was that? Come on. Get it up there. Good.
As soon as I get on the phone, man, two of my dogs come up and like try to knock the phone over. They get so jealous. Like my main boy, Charlie, man, if I talk to my phone, he'll come over and knock it over.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, ladies and gentlemen, here's Lily. She's hanging out with us.
Yeah.
She's been a good girl. She's sleeping. She's yawning. But, bro, dude, it was so awesome seeing you, catching up. I feel like we just talked for 5 minutes. That's it, you know, and like we got a lot more to talk about. And Lily wants some loving. But check it out. Check out the show notes. Go check out Tony. Go train with him. He is an incredible human and one hell of an instructor. So any last words, brother?
Thanks for having me, man. It's freaking great to just be back in the same space.
Yeah, likewise, dude. And the weather's beautiful this weekend, so we'll be hanging out this week.
I was not expecting it to be 90 here.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, we got a little bit of a warm streak. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.
Right on.
We all know something's wrong, but who's gonna change it? There's a